It's a beautiful evening down here in downtown Kingston. It's about 8 degrees right now. The temperature is dropping. And we've only got about a 6-kilometer wind coming across the face here of the field. Flags are slightly there moving as the women of rugby, the top two teams here, and take on the championship. Queens are ranked number 1 across the country, and Guelph are ranked number 4. We're going to see tonight who comes out of this game ranked number 1 in Ontario. It's a well-filled crowd, good attendance here down at Nixon Field as we get prepared for a kickoff. I haven't seen the toss of the coin, but I'm going to gamble taking a look at these ladies. Guelph is receiving to my left, and Queens Golden Gaels will be kicking off here to the camera's right. Just checking the times the referees are and making sure their radios are working well. They want to be on their top game as well this evening. And we're about to kick off the first half here of the championship game. Lots of Queen support here in the crowd. They're definitely drowning out fans that came down from Guelph to take in this evening game. The Queens are well supported here, being the homecoming weekend with lots of events going on throughout the city. Let's hope everyone does it safely and within the confines of the law. Harvey is set to do our drop kick. One last check by the referees, and we're off. It's a nice drop kick. She's gone deep with it, down into the side of the 22. Apologies on that one, folks. We just got the camera working there. I'm going to assume, taking a look at, we're setting up a scrum. That was a drop ball by the Gryphons down well inside their 22. Maybe a few nerves here to start off the game. It's a championship game there, ladies. You don't want to get behind on the Gaels. Harvey with the ball as the Gaels set. We have our first scrum of the match. Holding the defense tight. Ball comes out nice for the Gryphons, and there's a ruck formed quickly at the back. Under pressure is the kick, and touch has been found. Inside their own goal, the Gryphons had to clear the ball, and it was not a nice clearing. As they took one against the head, there was the Queen's scrum, and Guelph came out with ball. Had to realign quite quickly here. Looks like we're just inside the 22 as we're going to have our first line out of the game as well. The Queens will elect to go with a full line out. 7 appears to be in there. It's a nice long ball. Gone straight to the back. The solid hit from the back end. That was Riley taking that ball on quickly, and we're getting a high ball out. Nice hands here by the Gaels. They got a quick ruck here, and they're going to keep spinning wide. They're going to come right back up center with the ladies. They're out in front of the post right about now, just still at that 22 mark. We've got our first penalty of the game. Gryphons will enjoy that. Deep inside their 22, and they've elected to go for a run. And it's a good run. Gryphons came right outside within the 10 to the half there on their side of the field, and Queens have a nice wall set up on defense. Staying with the far side there, going short side goes the Gryphons again as they're keeping it a tight ball in the forwards. Back to game line again, and Queens are able to hold them here. Some quick ball to the back line, and the Gryphons don't make the game line that time. They're going to go with their own style up the center, and it pays off this time as they go for a nice run and get into Queens territory for the first time in the game. It's back to a short ball again to the forwards, and they're going to continue to work what's working well with them for right now. just at the 10-meter mark, and they've gone back to the forward pod again. Queens did a nice stop there. They've set up again. Same style by Guelph, 3 or 4 picks in a row, but the Gaels are holding on to it as they finally spin to the backs, and it's a mishandled ball, and Queens are going to pounce on that. Unfortunate there, but looked like Mika went for a run there on the short side. Scrappy ball on the end, and it must have came off a Guelph as the touch judge is awarding it to the Queens. Queens are going to do a little scrum there as they take a look to get ready for their line out. It's gone over the back, the line out, and they've gone to center field as the Gaels are pushing hard again, right in the center of the field with a good clean ruck, and they're going to feed it to their backs. They've got a double pod set up there, and they've broken a tackle. They're going to go for a run. Gaels are pushing for the corner, and they've got the first try of the match. Queens have put one down in the corner, the far side for 5. Might be a tight kick here. Not a lot of room past the 5-meter mark. But I've been watching the Queens over the season, and there's lots of leg and lots of good kicking ability comes out of Gibson, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's able to make this convert. You can see there by the flags, not a lot of wind here. It's almost coming straight across down the field, I should say. Well, it is between the 5 and the 10 meters there. A little closer to the 5. She's got about 4 meters just inside the 22. As Gibson takes her time, focuses and concentrates. It's a nice strike. Appears to have the distance from here. No. Flags are up. Flags are up. The conversion is good for 2 points. We have 7 on the board with just 5 minutes gone in the game. Gibson makes a nice kick again, taking it in between the uprights for the extra 2. This will be Guelph's first chance at doing a drop kick. It's a fairly nice drop kick. Just drops just outside the 22 and has made touch. It was a pretty nice drop kick from Kendra, the captain of the Guelph Gryphons. And they're going to set as Queens are doing their huddle up again, getting ready for the line out. Wind doesn't appear to be having any factor on the play as of right now, but it just was a little gust there a moment ago. The flags went up. It's another long ball high for Queens, and it's gathered by the Gryphons. Quick in support, and they've set a pod on the far side to go forward. They've elected to keep it tight with their forwards. And that's Bree Marty there making moves up the side, and she's back to get the ball again. She's charging hard, making a couple meters there, and it was one tough lady to take down, and she's made good presentation again on the ball. There's been some movement on the ground over there. Not quite clear. The Gryphons are pushing and diving. Looks like we got an advantage penalty being played here. Advantage to Guelph. And we got the whistle. And the referee's going to have a quick chat as to what that infringement might have been. He's given the full penalty. Just outside of the 5. Guelph's gone right back to their forwards again. It's a hard hit there, and they've pushed on in. And Guelph have been rewarded a try. So right back down within 2 minutes. Guelph responds positively with nice 5 off another penalty here. So Guelph has done quite well here off of the 2 penalties, making them count. As we get ready for the convert, we have a 1 Queens player down there. Take this opportunity. The OUA would like to thank the following partners for their contribution and support. The OUA, that'll be Milk to Go, the Barron Championship Rings, and Invest Hotels. Take a minute here as we're setting up for the kick, but they're going to give a little more time for that injured player. Other members we'd like to thank is others, the Award Shop, and the Government of Ontario for their continued support of the OUA. We're going to have the kick, the convert, and 2 points more. We have a tie game at the championship with just 9 minutes gone. So the Gryphons respond in fashion within 2 minutes of the first try of the game. We have the second, and the Gryphons, it's back to 0-0 here at Nixon Field, where we're playing the OUA Women's Rugby Championship. Prepare for the kickoff. Harvey has the ball. It's another deep drop kick, this time caught properly, and we're going to have a charge out by the Gryphons. Took the ball well inside their 22 and have pushed their way outside the 22. And they're keeping that forward game moving, that time not quite making the game line, as they're going to go to the backs and try that center crash again. Caught and held and lost ground there. The defense from the Gaels are not giving it up easily. And another solid tackle there as the Gaels are pushing the Gryphons back. Quick ball coming to our short side here, and it's a hard hit. And the Gryphons are just keep on pushing. We've got another try that's going to go with that being a dangerous hit, being high, the referee, Mr. White, has awarded. And being deep in their 22, the Gryphons will have a chance to get out with that kick. The ball stayed in, and Queens get the counter. They've taken the ball from just about their 10, and they're going to spin wide. Gryphons are up quick and fast, made a nice tackle, keeping them on their side of the field and at the 10. Queens are going to go wide. A bit of a mishandling error there. Couldn't get the handle, and the Gryphons have come up from that knock-on, and they're attacking on the short side. Continue to move forward. The Gryphons maintain possession here. It's nice continuity, and they're going to keep that forward ball moving. Right now, that pick and go for the Gryphons is working well, and Queens is struggling to get the answer to solve that. And the Gryphons have now moved inside the 22 of the Gaels territory. Another penalty coming back from the advantage. I believe that was an offside. Mr. White's called there. And Guelph enjoys their 4th penalty of the match. No quicker tap or go this time. Guelph's going to do a little kick into touch, and we'll go for the line out. Probably about 10 meters from the Gaels goal line. It'll be a line out for the Gryphons here as they've lined up with their full set of backs to the open field here. Fullback is quite deep. Let's see what they're going to do. It's a lovely catch, a high ball, and they've gone staying with the forwards with a nice drive. It's a solid drive they put on Queens here, and now they're down at the 5, and they're continuing to keep it a forward ball. Queens are having a hard time trying to solve this, and we're in goal. I don't see the ball, and referees and ARs are talking here. We're going to have a confirmation. believe at that point, we're going back. No advantage from the pull down, collapsing them all. Gryphons respond quickly with a tap and forward ball again. Bree has picked up the ball and gone for a charge. She has a try. We're going end to end here in the championship game at Nixon Field at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, where the OUA Women's Rugby Championships being played. It has been a very fast-paced match so far, and we have our third try of the game with the Gryphons putting it back down in the Golden Gaels end goal. Looks like it's going to be marked for the conversion just about on the 15-meter mark. And the Gryphons have gone out to about the 22 to make this attempt at goal. Last convert was good. It was from about the same distance. Might even been a little closer to the line of touch. Captain Kendra is going to take her time setting up the ball and preparing her approach. And in the background there goes Dan Valley and Sean Dunleavy, two fine coaches here with the Queen's Golden Gaels. Quite a history with them, and it is not a successful conversion. And so it is a 12-7 game with 25 minutes remaining in the first half. Ball has gone far and away, and Harvey's got to do a little jog in retrieving it. One person on the field I wouldn't be worried about their fitness level would be Miss Harvey. And it's another nice drop kick. She's gone long again, and it's going to be deep inside the 22. And the Gryphons have come charging back hard to their 22, taking it on the foot, and they've gone for a clearing kick. It's not going to make touch. It's well taken, and is being charged back by Queens. Queens have ball in hand, and they're a couple meters outside the 22 and are going to spin wide. We got a big charge there. And some heavy hitting going on as we come back to the short side, and the Gaels are charging hard. And we've got a penalty back here going to Queens, and it's offside on the Gryphons. The Queens are going to enjoy being patient and finally drawing a penalty of offside, and they're going to go for touch. As Maddie Dowley had a pretty nice run there and putting Queens up the field, and we've gone with the ball on the tap, and we're going to go wide. And the Gaels have punched the ball all the way to the 22 and have it back in hand. Going to keep it with the forwards themselves. Like Grace Anderson there had the ball for a few seconds. That's Maya gets a good shot. We got a ball. Pretty sloppy pay at the back end here, the ruck, and it looks like we're going to get an advantage. Penalty being called by White. As Queens is charging again. It's a very good defense again by the Gryphons as they're quickly there. It looks like we got another advantage, and we're going to go with the penalty. Mr. White signaled for a dangerous tackle. Harvey has the ball again. Pretty close, similar spot they were before when she tapped and went. This time she appears to be kicking for touch and has found touch. Between the 5 and the goal line, so they come out to the 5-meter mark in order to have the line out, and this will be Queen's ball at the 5-meter, just outside the goal line for the line out. Queens have gone a couple times to the back end of the line out, and it's had mixed results. We'll see what they're going to do this close to the line. Might stick with something a little shorter and a little tighter. To the front they go. It's a quick ball out. They're going to go with a quick pod, but it's poorly handled. White will give another penalty. The signal again was dangerous, and he's looking to speak to someone. Not sure. Just a caution at this time. Not keeping his hands out of his pockets. And no cards. 22 minutes left in this half. And Queens have tapped and gone. They spun it wide and then came back, what appeared to be inside, and they've set up for the pods. They're going to go wide this time. Queens are set on both sides. They've split their backs. And it's a very good up by the Gryphons. They got a very, very strong defense. That's a full penalty here to the Gryphons again. For it would appear, it looks like Queens are losing their feet, that signal there from White. So the Gryphons are going to get out of a little bit of trouble here by getting another penalty. Just inside their 22 by about 4 meters. Kendra's going to give it a good kick. She's found touch just on their side of half of the 10-meter mark. Be the Gryphon line out. You can see the wind's picked up just a little bit here, so it could be hard kicking for these ladies going across the field. And it's a very high and nice tight ball done by the Gryphons. And they've kept it in to the maul and are making a couple meters here as they push forward. You can see Bree has ball and is now down on the ground. And our maul is down. We've got a small ruck at the end. Referee's trying to keep them on side, and the Gryphons come charging forward and are met hard by the Queens Golden Gaels and set back. Back up to the gain line, the Gryphons make it. It's a scrappy finish to the ruck. And out comes a slow ball. Gryphons make the best of that slow ball and keep it in the forwards, and they push a few meters as they go back to the forward pod again. And they've broke loose on the far side. They've entered the Queens territory. Queens have that beautiful line of defense. But Guelph is going to stick with that forward attack. It has been paying off, so don't see why you wouldn't keep at it as they make the gain line and a step more. They're now going to try their backs as the backs go wide, but mishandled the ball. It's a lovely pickup by Queens. And it's going to be a try. Maggie Banks goes all the distance from halfway with a huge score. As we all return slowly to the Gryphons being awarded a penalty here. And Queens are back at their 10. Not too many of us could hear the whistle there with all that excitement from the Queens crowd here screaming as Maggie Banks was making a big run straight up the center of the field. Unbeknownst to us at the time, the whistle had already gone. Adds a little excitement here this evening. Gryphons have their line out down in Queens territory, just inside the 10 by a bit. About halfway now between the 22 and the 10, and the Gryphons are sticking with the same plan of a forward pods attack. It's been paying off. As the last couple times they've gone to the backs, it's been a big tackle or a lost ball. Gryphons are going to go wide again. They're going to go to backs. Quick chip of a kick. It's down inside Gaels 22, and there's a missed tackle followed by another. And Lizzie Gibson's going to go for quite a run out here, bringing the ball well out past the 22 and shy of the 10. Gryphons have stolen the ball off her, though, and are making their own charge, returning back to the 22 almost. And are awarded for their aggressive play with a penalty. Mr. White now takes his time to have a word with the Golden Gaels and asks them to back up. Full arm here to the Gryphons as they have the ball just outside the 22. They go for a short kick and a touch. The lineout's going to be about 7 meters from the goal. So the Gryphons have had success in their lineouts and success from their mauls from their lineouts here, and they're only 7 meters from the goal line here. I would have to say the Gryphons are in an attacking position and a scoreable situation right now. It's a bit stolen lineout is exactly what the Golden Gaels needed at this point in time, as they formed a nice clearing, but the clearing kick has been blocked. Considered a charge down by Mr. White. The Golden Gaels return to have possession. There's scrappiness at the back end. And no release signal from Mr. White. And the Gaels are rewarded a penalty about 10 meters from goal. And Harvey makes touch with no issue. As we go to another line out here. I jinxed the Gryphons with a line out getting stolen there just a few minutes ago. And I was going to say the Gaels have not had the best of lineouts, so maybe they can retain their own here as they try to form an attack. I've commentated a couple of games here at Queens, and I believe this might be the longest in the season. The Gaels have actually been kept inside their own half. They get a beautiful ball, and it's played well at the 22 and gone to the backs. But the Gryphons have some nice defense there and held, and the Gaels come back inside off it. So stolen on the pickup there, and Bree has a nice quick run, nice presented ball. We got a penalty advantage again coming here to the Gryphons, as they're making short progress, short strides. It's a big fight over here close to us. The Gryphons are there. Recycle their own ball, but they didn't make game line on that one. Queens have tightened up their defense. They're up fast and hard. The Gryphons have spun long to go to their backs and wide. Being cut early outside there. Gryphons did a nice job there fighting to keep the ball up and alive, and they stay out to the far side. Full arm, I believe, penalty about to come up here. It was a long whistle. And Guelph is going to be awarded another penalty as we come across the field. That was a nice play of advantage, I'd have to say there, Jake. Trying to see what we can develop here. And it was a nice attacking opportunity by the Gryphons, but they're always behind and under pressure, even in possession. So there was no territorial or tactical advantage on that. That was a well-played advantage. Kick to touch from Kendra. And we're going to be about 10 to 12 meters from the goal line of the Queens Golden Gaels as the Gryphons have the ball. They have a six-lady line out. They've gone close and short for Bree, who's knocked on the ball, and Queens have come up with it. Some bad ball handling there on both sides. And we have touch found. The AR has signaled that it is going to be a Queens ball on the touch. So the assistant referee on the short side's sharp and on it. That's Andrew Gardner there on our side, I believe. I'm looking at the back of. And after several lineouts, both the AR and the referee agreed that the gap was not the best. It's a long ball and over the top to Izzy Gibson, who gives a really nice feed out to the backs, and the Gaels are on a nice charge trying to get out of their 22. Some very stiff defense there by Guelph, and they've held them up again. Several nice tackles out there. Just outside the 22, the Gaels are now pushing. It's a good recycled ball again. The Gaels are going to stick to the forwards themselves on this charge, as they sit at the 22. It's a nice charge by the Pods there as well. Nice saving tackle there. I believe that was Gavin making that tackle, and we've got Guelph coming back out with the ball. Queen's defense very tight there and up fast. As the Gryphons look to recycle the ball. Staying with the forward ball. The Gryphons make a little bit of space, but there's some pretty hard tackling here by the forwards coming up now. Neither side given an inch. It's forward madness here being played on Friday night on Nixon Field as the defending OUA champions are taking on the last year's team that lost, Queens. So we've got quite a rivalry here. And Harvey fights for a ball and comes out of the middle of the pack with ball in hand. Queens are fighting hard, and they're going to be awarded a penalty here for all that hard work. And we're going to have to take a minute here as one of the Guelph players is down. Some hard hitting up there. That was Sheeran taking a look. Definitely having some fun up there. The Gaels are fired up from this. And neither side's given an inch. Take this opportunity to talk about our sponsors. The OUA.ca is your source for scores, stats, and schedules. We still have the Guelph player down here as we're looking to move forward. And Queens will have the penalty here when we return. I was just saying, OUA.ca is your source for scores, stats, and schedules, as well as the news from around the conference. Ontario University Athletics is where 9,500 athletes compete in 23 sports. Visit OUA.ca for more information. Gryphons players up, back on their feet. A little conference here between the referee and the assistant ref. As we wait for the field to be cleared. That time being brought back on. So it's a 12-7 game with Guelph out in front with 11 minutes left. As these two teams battle again. In the regular season meeting, Queens are on top. And that's the only loss the Gryphons have had all year long. Harvey's elected and kicked. It looks like she's going to keep it in field and go for a long charge. Gryphons have it within their 22, and they're going to elect to run it out. They do so, and there's a couple hits right outside the 22, and the Queens do not give an inch. As the Gryphons stay tight and into their forwards, they charge on the far side. They set up for another pod. Their pod's on the short side. A quick tap penalty has been awarded. Lizzie Gibson's going in for about 20 meters on her own. Queens are quick there to respond and come back and support, but not quick enough. Gibson isolated herself, and the Gryphons have been awarded for a quick defense and make their own charge back out to the 22. Both teams not letting the other get away with mistakes and capitalizing on those situations. Gryphons just keep pushing slow forward. Ball outside their 22, and they go for a clearing kick. It's mishandled by the Gryphons on a knock-on, but goes straight to the hands of the Queens, but they can't hold on to it either. So we'll go back to the original knock-on here. Drake's awarded to the Queens Golden Gaels just inside Gryphons' half. Both teams here are working hard. A lot of heavy breathing on both sides here, as this has been a very exciting first half with just under 10 minutes to go. Queens are setting up, scrum on the far side, big open field. They've already got Carmen in the back line and their fullback in the back line. They've got nobody on the open, on the short side. At this point in time, I don't see the Gryphons defense responding. We're going to get a reset here, the scrum. Jake takes his time. These are two very, very experienced teams. Excellent players on both sides. Even then, the referee must ensure that the game is safe. In doing so, he's going to have a chat with the props. Best seat in the house is right there. Jake White has it, but he doesn't get to use it. Gonna have to move around and stay focused. He's there. Looking good at the breakdowns. Haven't seen any calls that are really any attention to him. Doing a nice job here in the first half for sure. So we set that scrum again. Neither side gonna give an inch. And it's a hard scrum. Queen's getting a bit of a push there on the end as the ball comes out, and we're going to go for a run in the backs. Going to come back into a crash ball. That's Matty Banks making a big dent. And Gryphons are up quick on the attack and have pushed the Gaels back on the outside to their own side of half. Orders being restored here as Harvey comes back to retrieve the ball. She's going to go herself on the short side. Little magic there from the old days. Harvey takes the ball on up and gets it to half. There's that defense again from Guelph. Has pushed them back deep. But we're going back to a penalty. And Harvey's going to go for a run and passes it off. Backs are attacking on the far side. Looks like they're going to go back to a little forward ball crash here. And the Gryphons respond by being up there quick and tight. That's gone back. It's not a knock on there. Good call there, Jake, and keeping it going. It's a scrappy finish to a ruck, but a quick pickup here on the side. We're going to have the Gaels push back over that halfway mark. Got a seesaw back and forth here at the 50. It's quite a game. Banks just puts her hand down and makes a couple more extra meters on that one. We got a wide ball here going for the Gryphons. We got slip tackle by Walker. A couple more. Still going down till the 22. Donnelly expected there to do a little scrum half work as Harvey's getting back into the play. Kushner gets kind of a flat ball and pays for it by being caught there quick by the Griffith defense. There's a big breakout here off a missed tackle. And the Gaels have pushed halfway in the 22. Pressuring hard on the outside. A couple forwards to support. Donnelly makes a nice play and giving it to the forwards to go for a crash. The Gaels are just about 10 meters outside the goal line here, putting the pressure on the Gryphons, and they continue to hold that ball. And there comes Banks again with a big crash, and the Gryphons are realizing they got to solve that issue, or Banks is going to be having a heyday out there. Harvey's taken two good big hits in a row. And is slow to get up. That doesn't mean much knowing that young lady. She just might have been getting slow up because she was going to just take her time. Up with no issues here. And we got the referee having a quick little chat on both sides. So we're going to go with a knock on the signal. Gryphons ball. Just inside Gryphons 22. They're going to have to defend their own scrum here from the sounds of it. Signal says we're taking a minute here. The referee's talking with the Queen's huddle there for a second. As one of the Gryphons is being looked at there by the athletic therapist off to the side of the screen. So we'll just take a minute. In that minute, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Milk to Go Sport is the exclusive dairy partner of the OUA and proud sponsor of varsity athletes. Apply now for your chance to be the 2023 brand ambassador. Visit OUA.ca for details. Milk to Go Sport. Fuel to keep your body going. As we're coming together here to set this scrum, Griffin ball. Couple 4 meters inside their own 22. Gryphons will be under a little bit of pressure as the Golden Gaels would like to get this game a little tighter before half, no doubt. All 3 tries are probably within the first 10 minutes of this half, going end to end, back and forth. We got an 8 pickup, and we're going to go wide to the backs. Gryphons get a good run and get all the way outside their 22 before be taken down, but good forward supports there, and they're going to go back in the short side, which is right here in front of us. Game lines are made and some more. It's a clearing kick, but I don't think she realized she was outside the 22. Very unfortunate and unlucky here. We're going to take a look. I believe the AR is having a conversation with the ref here. And it would appear it did make contact with the ground before going into touch. So it did not go out on the full. Clearing kick did hit. But I'm not 100% sure here, as I can't view out the window perfectly. I do apologize for that. I believe that's going to be from where the kick was taken. So the referees believe the ball's gone out on the full from that clearing kick. And Queens will be awarded for that mistake by the Gryphons. And they have a line out. A couple extra instructions there by Jill and how they want this to be. That's Izzy Page making the throw. It's a very nice ball high into the second pod in the line, and Queens hold on to it well. Set up a nice maul and pushed through it, actually. They're able to set up and retain their own ball on the ruck. It's a good ball going to the backs. They're going to go wide here. Bit of a mishandle, but a good ball being picked up again by Walker and making a charge. Brought down about halfway between the 22 and the 10, and Queens are going to keep it to the forward pods. Not making much more than just game line. They went back to the forward pod, but we had a drop ball here. It's gone back and indicated by White, and we're going to keep on rolling. Queens have retained some nice ball here. They're going to go short side. Izzy gets a good grubber away, and Gryphons are locked without anyone there to support. Queens got a good pickup, but an excellent defense there on tracking. Following up, and they brought down before the goal line. Queens are now on the goal line of the Gryphons, and the Gryphons' hard work and good defense appears to be getting a penalty. I could be mistaken here, and the arm is the wrong way. White's going to be having a chat with a couple of the Gryphons, and we have a yellow card. And it would look like Bree Marty has received a yellow card, and that is the number 1 for Guelph. That's their big star prop. They have a couple star props, I should say, but she is one of them. And that's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, she was the second try scorer. That's going to be a bit of a dent here for the Gryphons. There's only 2 minutes left in this half. That'll be 8 minutes at the beginning of the second half. Down 14 against 15. There's more discussion going on between the referee and the ARs on the far side. Queens are pretty excited to be down here with this scrum. And I believe we've brought in, if I'm not mistaken, the Gryphons are going to have to bring in another trained player that can play prop, and they'll have to take someone else out of the front row. So tactical substitutions had to be done by the Gryphons because of the send bin. We start back with a really good scrum, nice and low. These have a good ball, and Queens are going to go wide. There's Banks making a big charge for it. Well held. Roll and good presentation. Queens have the ball again. They're going to make another charge for it. This time that's going to be Izzy Page making a big smash up there. And we got another ball going. That's Cameron. It's over her head. Queens continue here to fight to hold the ball. Look looked like Jade Walker was going to get another shot of playing scrummy there for a second on the back end. We're going all the way back over. That's a bind signal from hand to shoulder, so Queens are getting a penalty here for the lack of a bind by the Gryphons, and I'm going to assume that's straight from the scrum. That's about where it was awarded, and Izzy Gibson makes a couple dance moves there and tries to get in. She's held back by about a meter. It's a quick ball back over. Riley makes a run for it. It's another good ball back outside. There's a missed tackle here. It's on the far side of the field for me, folks. I'm sorry I can't see it that well. Queens are going to come back over and give us a show as Anderson takes a good charge there going forward. Ball's back out again. Kirshner has a nice hand, feeds a quick ball. Banks is out and on her own. Sorry, that's Maddie. Maddie Donnelly was out and on her own. Gets the ball outside and puts a nice try over in the Gryphons' goal. And right now we're at a tie game. So we're at halftime now here, folks. So the game tied with the conversion yet to be done. Izzy Gibson is going to be setting up her ball. That's only 2 minutes gone in this 10-minute send-in, this championship game down here at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, where we've been enjoying just a fabulous evening here at Nixon Field. Right in front of a Queen's hometown crowd here. We've got quite a game here. Sean Dunleavy there coming in to bring in the tee for Gibson, who's just about a meter to the touchline from the 15 mark on the lineouts, a couple meters inside the 22. It's a light breeze. You can barely see the flags moving at 6 kilometers here across wind. It's a nice strike. Looks to be good from here and through the uprights. Flags are up. There's our whistle. The Queen's Golden Gaels women's rugby team are ahead heading into half. 14-12, Nixon Field in Kingston, Ontario. This has been end-to-end excitement here in such a close game. It's the way you'd like to see a championship played. Now, there's no time on the clock, but the sole judge of law and fact, Mr. Jake White, is about to have this kickoff. It's a nice kickoff, good and deep drop. Just inside the 22, the Queens will take it and go for a charge back out. Tackled on the 22 they are and held tight. And Queens are going to go that back line again. Gryphons got to be careful here and keep these tackles tight. So they're still down one player here as Queens are going to go to the short side, our far side, and punch it through. They've got some deep pods here from the forwards. And the Gryphons are keeping them tight inside their own 22. Gaels are having trouble making the game line and finally do on the far side and get it on outside their own 22. Good recycled ball and retention here, as the Gaels are finally outside their 22 and pushing hard. That was a really nice carry by Anderson there before we come forward. And Harvey holds up a couple before Queens are going to spin it wide again. On the far outside attack, we've got all the backs coming. Walker takes a nice catch and is over top of the half. Carmen's in to play scrum half, becomes the sealer, and Harvey gets the ball and plays it back into the forward pod. Gaels are pushing strong and are already inside a Gryphons half as they continue to move forward back to game line. Harvey's swinging the ball. It's a mishandled ball here, and it's got to be cleaned up by a forward. That looks like Banks is going to be going in for another try all the way from the half as she picks up a sloppy ball from the Gryphons, and the Queen's Golden Gaels make the Gryphons pay for another mistake. Down by one player. The Gryphons are in a bad situation here as we're waiting for half to happen and fatigue has set in. And a hard charge with one missed tackle and excellent hands there. And Banks is in for her second try here of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And halftime still hasn't been called, and we're at 19-12 now, waiting for the conversion attempt by Gibson, who's about to set up her tee. She's staying about 18 meters from the goal line. This time she's set up a couple meters towards touch from the 15-meter mark. As the Queen's Golden Gaels retreat for water, they have not left the field yet. Might be an indication that there is a time difference between the actual clock and Mr. White's watch. Gibson takes her time. As you can see, the flags are barely moving. We're still hanging around 7 degrees Celsius here. It's quite a nice evening for late October. It's a nice strike, seems to have all the height. Flags are up, and there's our whistle. So before we head to half, it is now 21-12 as halftime has been signaled by the referees. So the Queen's Golden Gaels are ahead 21-12 here in the OUA championship match here at Nixon Field in Kingston, Ontario, as we head to halftime.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queen's.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
Hello and welcome back to Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, Nixon Field, where we start the second half of the OUA Women's Rugby Championship. Guelph just has a kickoff there, and Harvey does a little dancing to get away. And Queens are set up to come back off that kickoff. They're just outside their 10, feeding back to their charging there up the sides. Queens, it looks like they're going to go back into that pod motion again, where they keep moving forward. Stiff defense on the Gryphons. They haven't let up all game long. They're still playing one lady down from that send bin earlier in the first half towards the end. That's Sheeran there making a good run with it. Nice presentation. The Queens are going to go to the backs on this one. Queens have got a three-lady pod they set up on that charge. Harvey's going to play it from the ground off her knees. It's not the most successful pass, but it does make it way, as they're going to try to go wide. And there's that Gryphon defense again, just holding up everything that hits. And they will get rewarded with a scrum from that hard hit, as referee Jake White awards a scrum to the Gryphons from the knock-on by Queens. Beginning the second half here, as I said, the Gryphons are down by one player from a sin bin with only a few minutes left in the first half. The Queens will enjoy that. 15 on 14 for the next little bit. Speaking of the Gryphons, Colette McCauley, head coach of the Gryphons, her entire team are actually Guelph grads, and they're here this evening to defend their OUA championship from last year. And right now they find themselves down 21-12. The only game they've lost this year is to the Queens Golden Gaels. The Golden Gaels come into this championship with a 7-0 record intact. If you would have checked in about 3 minutes before the half, the score would have been reading 12-7. Two quick tries at the end of that half has put Queens up ahead, and they're enjoying that. As we set now for the scrum, Gryphons ball. And as you can see, their short one flanker on this side. Ball came straight back out of the tunnel. Reset with Gryphon ball. Gryphons have got a nice size backline set up here on a good angle, but they're not leaving their blind side winger alone, that's for sure. It's a nice scrum again. We're set. It's gone down hard and fast. Ball's at the back. We're going to get it out. Hard defense there coming off that scrum by Queens, and they've backed the Gryphons back up. Gryphons are going to punch forward again, as they've been doing very successfully using those forward pods in the very first half. They're set forward, and they're just making inches at a time, but slowing the game down, burning up some clock, and they're going to go to their backs now. Going to have a good charge there. I look like Donnelly there on that tackle, keeping the Gryphons down as they just about break the line and are going to continue to attack coming towards our side. Kendra has a nice carry there in the presentation. That's captain for the Gryphons. Quick pod right into stiff defense there. The Queens are not giving up an inch, and Gryphons are having a hard time getting back to game line. Going to have a grubber kick through here. Harvey's back behind to do the pickup. I thought we had an arm up there earlier from White, and we did. Offside. He's playing a nice advantage. Offside on the kick, I believe. It might be the call here, moving up to this position of the field. Gryphons going to tap and go for a charge. They've done so, and caught Queens kind of wondering what was happening, and they've definitely made more than their 10 meters on that. And a quick ball back into be recycled as the Gryphons are charging well inside Queens territory, the 22. And they're going to keep it tight and keep it charging. Quite the head up there on the side. Sheeran just has been a tackling machine there for the Queens Golden Gaels. And continues that attack. Gryphons retain the ball and come right back at it. Some solid hitting out there in the center field. The Gryphons are able to hold on to that handle, and they're going to keep charging. Some standstill ball there, and Gibson makes them pay for it. Backed outside of the 22. Gryphons would have to regroup here to make a charge, get back inside on that attack. Bad ball handling here, and it's been kicked forward on the side of that ruck, and Queens have a ball, and they're at their 22. Outside their 22 now. We're going to play the knock on. So we have a knock on call. Scrum down, I believe it's going to be a Queens ball. We're having a time check here. I'll be honest, I don't have the proper time on that sin bin, but it's probably got to be pretty close to over. There was 2 minutes or so left, and we played quite a bit past the clock. So the only person who's got that answer is in the center, and there's your answer right now as Bree comes back out, take up her position here as loose head prop. It's a scrum right in front of the post here. Inside the 22, Queens ball. Quick whistle, up. White's having a quick little chat with his 2 props on our far side, his side. Trying to maintain, there's been some nice scrimmage in there. Pushed back and forth by both sides. I believe only one's dropped and we played out of it. Maintaining a high quality of safety there is what Jake is doing, and we appreciate that. It's a quick pickup on the 8 here, and we're going to go wide. It's a nice fake coming off of Izzy, and a beautiful feed to Harvey, and she's got a great run all the way to the 10. And it's a quick back ball and a very unfortunate mishandling error there by Queens, as the Gryphons will get the ball back. Still inside Queens territory. Very unfortunate there. And Sheeran there, number 6 flanker for the Queens Golden Gaels, has just been putting on a show here. That was another clearing ruck she's had here, and some tremendous tackles happening. There's some great individual efforts here showing up tonight, this championship match. Both sides are hungry. Gryphons to retain the title, and Queens to take it back. It's a good solid scrum. A lot of pressure up in there, and Gryphons are going to take the ball. Went with a fake center crash, and now they've got a second phase ball to the backs. It's a fast pick up and go. They're going to push that far side one more time and have a knock on, unfortunately. I think that might have been Haley Woodcock who couldn't find the handle on that. Gets it back for a good clearing kick by Queens. See no flag, and Guelph is going to have a return. It's a good deep ball outside the 22, and Queens have it in hand and are charging to the open field. And here they come at pace. It looks like Carmen with the ball. Got Sheen in support. Now Walker as well. And they've attacked well inside Griffin territory. Bad ball handling error there on the back end. Page didn't get hold of it, unfortunately. Queens are being pushed back by this very tight defense, and Guelph comes out with the ball, and they're going to try to spin. Another drop ball, but it's gone back, and it was clear that it did. Another quick ball as Guelph continues to get pushed back now by Queens. Had 2 drop balls in a row here by Guelph, but they've been down and back, so we've had continuous play here. We got some back and forth counter rucking happening here. Ball's not playable. From what I can see on this side, we're going to have a scrum awarded to the Gryphons. They're in their own half, just outside the 10 towards center. And we'll have a scrum down. Communication going back and forth here, the referees and the ARs. We've had a call for a substitution, and here we are. Lizzie Page will be exiting after a good battle for just shy of 50 minutes. That's Queen's Golden Gaels. Emily Butterworth has come in to play 8 for the Queen's Golden Gaels. Eight's not making a big effect on the game. It's a good ball and gone to the backs, and they're at pace. Crash ball came a little slow there, and Queens have made a nice tackle. Gryphons are trying hard and are making a really good move there up the side. That's Taylor McKnight with a good charge. And the Gryphons are still in this game, pushing hard. They're not giving up yet. It would have been Kennedy that made that run by the Gryphons, I'd be mistaken. But they're getting pushed back here, but retaining ball. Another forward charge here, but slow to support for the Gryphons. But from the advantage, we're coming back our side of the field here for the ball. Gryphons take it quick and fast. Bernard takes a nice charge, and Gryphons are up at the 10 in Queen's territory, and just a handle didn't get held there by that ball. Very unfortunate there. Gryphons forgetting to get both hands on that ball before going forward. And the Queens are going to be awarded a try in their own half. This is a very physically demanding match we have here. The forwards are really taking it to each other, neither giving an inch. And these ladies got to be starting to get fatigued. Fitness is going to become a very strong factor in this match as we boil down to the minutes. With 29 remaining, setting for another scrum. That's a good clean ball. Harvey's going to pick up and come blindside. She's going to be hard to take down as she goes through one, then two. Third one follows from behind. Gets the tackle down. It's a good pickup ball at the back end, and Anderson's going to have to go on her own. Lots of emotion here in this championship game, as both sides are not going to go down without a fight. Guelph's going to have the line out here in their own half. Probably about a meter their side of the 10. Didn't hear for a substitution call, but we do have one out there. I believe that's 22. Might be mistaken. That might be 20. That might be Busby's joined the back line. Beautiful line out there again. Wonderful height that they have here on these lineouts as they go charging forward again. Gryphons have the ball back again. Go for a little back line. They've made gain line, but are struggling to win their own ruck. And they didn't. Gibson comes out of that with the ball. Anderson gets ball, and we got a good feed going out to the outside. Kushner's going to go on her own, and she's gone inside the 22. And Queens are on the attack and pressing hard. For the first time in a while, they're deep inside Gryphon territory. Good retention of the ball, and we're going to swing to the backs here. Missed time here on the ball, and Queens are backing up to keep the ball in hand. No way one side, no way the other side. And Harvey's taking ball down, and I believe that's number 20. So that's Busby's out there for the Guelph Gryphons, making a quick impact upon arrival. Not too often Harvey gets caught behind the scrum. It's got neither way to go and is taken down, but she came at the back end of that ruck with not much option and had to take the tackle. Both sides taking their time here to come on up to this scrum. Getting ready to set. Got some great scrimmage in here. A couple of resets by Mr. White to keep us all honest, and it's going quite well. And I jinx it by saying that as we go to ground here. Top ranking in the country, #1, Queen's Golden Gaels Women's Rugby is #1 and #4 ranked are on the field. The Gryphons are #4 across the country. And tonight we're going to find out who's #1 in the province. 26 minutes remaining in this game. 21-12, Queens out in front. A little difficulty there on the scrum. It looks like Jake White's going to have a little chat here. We've been having some excellent scrums, but we have entered the 50 minutes plus now. And there's been a lot of forward play on both sides of the ball here. Two excellent forward packs here. Wonderful coaches on both sides of the pitch here. And we're getting to watch some very, very talented ladies play an excellent game tonight. We're going to get a free kick awarded to Guelph. Didn't see the quick signal, but they're off and gone. It's a quick ball and a crash. And Guelph is pushed over to the other half. Failure to a full wrap is the call from what I've known my signals. Jake White's awarded the ball to Guelph just on their own half. A kick for touch. Captain of the Guelph Gryphons, #10 Kendra, makes touch. Down about halfway between the 10 and the 22 on the Queen's side. That'll be your Guelph ball. Just saw the rotation signal for a substitution. Not sure who's coming in or leaving. Looks like there's another player in the backfield for Guelph who's come in. A big hit there from Banks as she comes charging up. Queens, and she's still on their feet moving forward, and she's gotten all the way to the 10. And there's a Gryphon holding her arm, and it's a big clearing kick as Guelph has to retreat well inside their 22 and are still having a hard time gathering that ball. 3 Gaels are on top of that Gryphon as they try to retain ball, and the pressure of defense by the Gaels is rewarded. They'll take the penalty, and it'll be quick and tap, and away they go. They're charging hard while the Gryphons still hadn't formed their defense, and now they're inside the 5. Gryphons have set up a nice goal line now, waiting for the ball to come out. Harvey finally feeds, and we're going to have it out to Banks. It's hard to take down at best, and then she is brought down at about the 4 meters. Slow ball is going to come short side. It's going to be Anderson, and she's going to be hard to take down. She's in, but we don't have a call yet. Ball's retained, back outside. It's a hard hit that Sheenan takes, and we have a knock on from that, and it'll be Gryphon ball on their own 5. Well, there were some great opportunities there by the Golden Gaels by pouncing on the Guelph Gryphons' mistakes and making them pay for it. And the Gryphons have had to play some hard defense all the way down to their own 5. They do have the scrum, but they are under pressure. And time is coming off that clock with 22 minutes remaining. I do know a few of the ladies on the Guelph Gryphon team, and I can tell you that their substitution numbers aren't the same as the sheet I have with me. As I see, looked like Busby joining in the scrum there to flank. It's a really good scrum here, and it's gone down. Queens have the ball at the 5. It's a quick tap. They're trying to charge. Sheenan is, no, we got 2 hands out here by Mr. White. He doesn't like something, and he's not going to allow it. Full penalty. Harvey with the ball. 5 meters out. It's a quick tap. It's quick up. Ball's going to go wide. And Queens aren't being able to penetrate that defense just yet. And White calls a knock on, and the ball will be to the Gryphons. Still on the 5 meter. Well, the Queens here are their own worst enemy by knocking on the ball twice on the 5. But Gryphons have not been able to get a good scrum and clear. As we have a Go Gaels Go chant starting up pretty good here from the crowd. Guelph has got to be feeling the pressure mounting with only 20 minutes left in the game and down by 9. Queens are awarded a penalty at the 5. It's about the 3rd penalty now on the 5, and Queens are going to slow it down. Not sure who's talking for the Queens team, but I've already seen one indicate posts. And once they've indicated post to that referee, it will be post. It doesn't change. Referee hasn't indicated posts. I believe we're going to have a scrum. Queens backs are having a bit of their own meeting there as Harvey comes back towards the scrum with the ball. So it's a Queens ball, and they've got their backs almost flat across the pitch. 2 ladies are set up, looking to be standoffs. I believe that's Cameron on one side. Scrum's wheeled too much for Mr. White's liking. He slowed it down. I believe he's rewarding a scrum to Queens. And he's taken up the non-ball side of this scrum. So it would appear with less than 20 minutes to go, referee Jake White is still having to work hard at managing these scrums so that they're safe. Indicating to the backs to stay put as we have a hard push wheel again, and Guelph has come out with the ball on their flank. It's a quick ball handling, and they've gotten all the way to the 22 with a crushing tackle there. Well done by Carmen to hold it back. And Gryphons can't get outside their own 22 at this point in time for the first time. Several rucks in a row, and it's a forward ball by the Gryphons. They're going to turn and present again. They're just outside their 22, almost on the line. They're giving it back. There's several hard hits here. Queens are playing hard right on the 22, but the Gryphons aren't giving anything. It's a back pass for a clearing kick. Wouldn't have made touch, but we do have a whistle. White's looking to speak to one of the Gaels. And it looks like it's going to be Grace Anderson he's going to have a quick chat with. It indicates to the rest of the team what she's looking for. Guelph's getting set up, pairing with a kick for touch. And they do. Making touch just about the 10-meter mark on their side of half. The Gryphons will have the line out. I don't think there's a seat empty here in the stands at Nixon Field, and very few of them are being used that are. Everyone's on their feet here, the hometown crowd cheering on the Queen's homecoming weekend. The Gryphons are making some good foot here, just Side a half on their own side. Forwards are charging again, going back to these forward pods. The way they started this match when they had full control. Bree has a ball. It's a nice play off. Nicely played. Into contact. Goes Taylor. And it's a quick recycle ball again back into the forward pods. Guelph's return. Oh, Guelph's gone to the backs. They had a pod here set up on one side. That looked like Garwin in the middle of that out pod attack has made some nice movement up there. The Gryphons have lost the handle on that ball one more time. And Queens are going to end up with a scrum out of it. So every time one of these teams makes a mistake, the quality of the other team makes them pay. It's been a back and forth. It's a great battle here. It's a wonderful championship match we're having with the OUA Championship here on Nixon Field at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Nixon Field, named after 1979 grad Gordon Nixon. I thank him for contributions to go towards this field. It's a lovely artificial turf that we get to play on here, making no factor of the footing. Not raining tonight, but if it were, the turf fields are wonderful to keep the mud away and help good ball handling skills be used. Wind is still a nice light breeze coming off the lake here as we're getting set for another scrum. And White's going to bring them in slowly. Slight little gust, but we're still hanging around 6 km/h breeze coming across off the lake here, and down to 6 degrees now here. So, well, that's 15-16 minutes of play here. The temperature could play an unfortunate factor in the ball handling skills as this game wears on at this temperature. The scrum has gone down. We got a full arm up for a penalty, and the Gryphons are going to go quick from the halfway. They've elected to go to the backs. Kent just kept the ball, made a couple extra meters, and there's a quick recycle as they go again. It's another ball handling error out on the outside as Gryphons retain their own ball, but they're struggling to be able to do that. And Katie Hay is able to do so, but unfortunately the pickup has gone into touch. The Gaels are enjoying a strong hometown crowd here as it's their line out just inside Gryphon territory, right in front of the middle of the benches here. Riley set for her throw. Some exceptional throwing from this young lady this evening as she's made a couple very nice passes beyond the 15 and made it to hand as they set to do another. Guelph prop Bree was doing up a boot. Referee waited. It's a still step. It's not the cleanest ball up top. The Gryphons are coming in hard, and they've put the Golden Gaels back on their own side with a pressuring defense. Kirsch with the ball a little too much out in front of her. Nice hands to retain it and has to go down with it. Second phase of attack from the backs coming from Queens. They're deep inside their one side a half at the 10. They've made a run and they've cleared over to the other half. Gryphons are now inside their own half defending as the Gaels recycle ball and come forward again on a nice charge. In there in quick support are the forwards as they charge again. Anderson taking a nice ball there and being cleaned up by Jill. And another quick pick up and go, but it's lost and gone forward, and the Gryphons are going to retain that possession. On their own 10, the forwards had all come together. They've gone to their backs. It's another quick up to the center. Kirshner makes the tackle there to bring her down. Got a little trick play here happening behind the play by the Gryphons, but it's not worked out, and they've gone all the way back to their own 22 almost. The Gryphons have a nice clearing kick. Taken well by Walker, who's returned the ball. Not the nicest of offloads there, but we've got Sheenan making a very nice cleanup. And the Gaels are still on the attack. Harvey with the feed going all the way to Kirshner to the backs as the backs come forward with a big attack. That's Banks, who's very hard to take down. Has made a big charge, and the ball's been recycled again and passed out on the far side in the corner. All three backs are down and in the ruck as the ball gets brought back to the forwards. And there's a big hit there just inside the 5 meter as Gaels are attacking again. They're going to come wide to our side of the camera as Gryphons are kind of out of shape on the defense. The Gaels will use the posts as their pals and score just inside the short post. Powey's Post, named after Rick Powers, a grad of Queen's Gold Gaels. Long-time community member of rugby wherever he's lived. Back here in Kingston, we're happy to have his support. The Gaels have now gone out in front. With the clock saying only 11 and a half to go. It's 26-12. Starting to make a pretty steep climb for the Gryphons to have to come back from. Lizzie Gibson's getting ready for her attempt at 2-point convert right in front of the post. OUA would like to thank all the following partners for their continued support in the OUA. Milk to Go Sport, Baron Championship Rings, and Vest Hotels. Now there's Awards Store and the Government of Ontario. As Miss Gibson hits the upright, and it's not favorable for her, and it comes right back out. But Queens will stay at 26-12 with about 68 minutes in this match gone. Temperature still holding steady here at 6 degrees and should remain there until the end of the match. As we set for another kickoff here. And we've got substitutions coming in on both. 2 of them from the Guelph Gryphons. As the rotation's been made by Jake White. Gryphons appear a little shuffled as they're getting their subs on and off. And there's 15 now on the field. It's a nice drop kick, fairly deep. First landing just outside the 22, and actually Gryphons come up with the ball. Back into a forward pod, the Gryphons are as they attack. They're going to keep it fairly tight again, go back to what was working. They run it to the backs, and they go wide. Retaining possession. But the referee's going to come back. Play the advantage. Substitution now being called on the Queen's side of the field. Looks like Sarah Perman's about to leave. She's had a wonderful game. That might be Banks that's leaving with her there. As the Gryphons are setting for a scrum against the Gaels, just outside the Gaels 22, Guelph ball. That's a good solid scrum there. Been excellent scrummaging all evening long here, and Queens get the better push on that and come out with the penalty. And Gryphons got their prop slow to get to feet. This is okay. Harvey has the ball at her feet. She makes it look like she's kicking for touch, but we've seen that before. And she kicks it for touch. spectator participation here out behind the stands as we gathered the ball. And bring it up here for the line out. Just about right on the 10-meter mark inside their own territory. Queens have the line out. A couple more substitutions are now being made. Butterworth's at the back of the line out. Line out's at the front. And Maddie May has the throw in. Front pod ball. Queens are going to go for a drive in their maul. Made a couple strides first, but they're getting pretty stuffed back there right now by the Gryphons. Kind of holding still. And as they can't produce the ball out of that maul, with Queens taking it in, it will be a Guelph ball on the scrum. Not going forward, called out after 5 seconds, not able to do so. The ball is turned over. The laws of the maul. Well done, Mr. White. Good call as the Gryphons start making some substitutions as well. Starting prop number 1, Brianna Marty is leaving. She's had quite the game. She was the only yellow card of the match to this point. And it's a quick pickup on the back from Guelph as they go for a charge forward. Unfortunate ball handling error out in the centers. And Queens have come up with the ball from the knock, charging hard on the outside. Walker's going for a run. She had Carmen in support, but is brought down. Harvey with a nice spin ball. Back into the forward pods again. This time Izzy's quite the attack here by Guelph, but there's no release. And Queens will be rewarded with the penalty. Oh, that's a hands-in signal that I just saw Mr. White make it towards the end there. Harvey has a nice kick to touch, clearing them out into the Guelph territory. Just about the 10-meter mark. Well, shouldn't have trusted the clock in the first half. It says we had just under 5 minutes to go. Referee's the sole judge of law and fact, and so we went a few more extra minutes in the first half. We're not too sure if that clock's on time with Mr. White. Not the best line-out ball of the game so far. It's been knocked on by Queens and the line, and it will be a scrum at the 15. The Queens make their own mistake, and the Gryphons are rewarded by getting the ball at the scrum. Gryphons have set up a steep back line, scattered about, and it looks like the blindside winger is going to join the line. Queens have only responded with 4 flat. Wait to see if there'll be an 8-man pick, and there's not. They're going to go to their backs. It's a good charge ball and made the game line as Guelph recycles and back to the forward pods again. Good 5-6 meters there. And they're going to go to the far side again. It's an excellent ball carrying there. Making some headway, the Gryphons do, is to keep the ball tight and into the forwards. Bad ball handling error there. Bit of a knock on. And back. And the Queens will get the scrum this time. Temperature still hanging around 6 degrees. This temperature, those ladies been out there all evening long. Start playing a factor in the ball handling skills here. Not that they don't want to, but this temperature, hands have been stuck in a fridge for the last hour. Harvey's taking the standoff position. She gets ready for ball. He's gone for a long pass. Oh, looks like Carmen coming up the side, coming hard. There's Walker getting the ball at pace. It was Carmen. It's a good big hit. Gryphon won't let go and holds on. And Walker can't go any further. It's a great counter ruck attack by Guelph, and they've been rewarded the ball. Quick ball into the forwards. Guelph's going to go for a run. They've got the ball over to the 10. So they've picked up and gone for another charge. Harvey makes the tackle out there in the midfield, right at center. Quick return of ball, and Guelph's going to go for running their backs again. One successful run after the other. It's a nice offload back inside. It's a hot potato, and there's the captain, Kendra, going for a charge of her own. Quick recycle by the Gryphons. Busby goes for a run. Able to retain the ball and show it back. Whoa, we got a double whistle. Double whistle here. In a row, I believe. Mr. White's already gone to pocket. He has. And Jake White's gone to pocket here with a card. And it looks like Grace Anderson is going to be in the send bin for the remainder of the match, which is only about a minute and a half at this point in time. Gryphons are going to keep the ball in hand and go for a charge. They're at the 22 and rucking hard. Anderson's played a very big part in Queen's defense and offense this evening. And with only a minute left, she will be missed. And the Gryphons are going to try to keep this forward ball going. Just outside the 5 now. Gryphons are going to go a pick up and drive again. They're now on the 5. Good clear. You see the ball at the back of the feet here. This is going to be hard to defend against by Queens. But they've put them right in the same spot again. They're still outside that 5. Another pick up and drive. I think that's all we're going to see is pick up and drive, and they have gone wide. It's a good charge here by Gryphons. Still hanging between that back to a penalty at the 5 meter. White has awarded for Gryphons. They're going to put down the ball and go for a charge. And they've done just that. Are brought down and return. We got another arm up here. Looks like a penalty advantage for High. And if the Gryphons can't score here, I think Mr. White's going to have to start looking at a penalty try. There's the ball again at the feet for the Gryphons. They're going to go wide. It's a quick charge, a turn of events from that dangerous tackle. A continued advantage, played very well by White. The penalty will be on the 5 for Gryphon. The Gryphons. And we're back to it. With only seconds remaining in the game, the Gryphons are not going to go down easy here and are looking to put a few more points on the board. They're going to go with a charge right up front. Busby has the ball. Hard to take down, and she's rolled, and she's just near the line. Gryphons are going to go wide. They're going to go for a charge. They've got the numbers. They're being pushed wide. They're not quite in yet. They're on the line. They're getting a recycle. We got another arm up here by White. There's going to be a penalty advantage from the looks of it, but the try has been scored. So the score is going to be tightened up a little bit there. It'll be right now it's 17-26 in favor of Queen's Golden Gaels. There's no time on the clock. This might be the end of the match. OUA.TV. And Joseph and Cody and Alex, Kevin, and myself, Chris Slack, thank you all for joining us this evening. Downtown Kingston, Ontario, at Nixon Field, Queen's University. It has been a wonderful evening watching the Queen's Golden Gaels defeat the Guelph Gryphons 26 to an undisclosed number right now as we prepare for the convert. It's from well outside the 22. The kick is going to be short. No whistle. And we have, as of yet, the final whistle to be blown. With no time on the clock, the sole judge of law and fact, Mr. Jake White, will continue to play some rugby here tonight. Queens have one in the bin still. as the Gryphons are within 9. But that is a penalty and a try. Converted try and a penalty. Harvey kicks a nice deep high ball into the 22. And the Gryphons come with a charge attack out on their own 22. They retain ball and keep it in hand and come back to the game line at the 22. No release. No release is the call. It'll be a penalty awarded to Queen's Golden Gaels outside Guelph Gryphons 22. They're going to kick for posts. Kick for posts, so this will be the final, should be the final act of the game. If the Queen's Golden Gaels had elected to kick it into touch, they would have had to play the lineout that follows. And if time is off the clock, the referee's not allowed to end on a penalty. So the penalty being awarded to kill the clock and no more play. Successful or unsuccessful kick at post will be the end of the game. Although Queens only has 90 seconds to get this kickoff, and they've lost about 40 of it right now. At this point in time, they would hate to concede a penalty for delay of game, which would actually be a free kick. Izzy Gibson lines up for her last strike. It's a nice strike, appears to have the height. Hits a pole again, and she gets the pocket this time. Off the pole and end for 3. The final's going to be, we're down to 29-17. It's a 2-try game at this point in time. The referee still has the clock running as Gryphons run back for a quick drop kick at center. It's a nice drop kick. Lands outside the 22. The Queens are going to have a charge out. Queens have gone to their back to a forward pod there, set up before their backs, and now they got another forward pod. They're going to go back to them. Harvey out there directing traffic back and forth, setting up pod after pod. And it looks like Queens are going to keep it in the forwards, just so we don't get any breakaways maybe here, or a broken path ball by the Gryphons. Harvey has ball. Krishna does a reach. She has a awkward sliding down. And we have a whistle. It is for no release. Gryphons go quickly and have a tap and are on the run. They want to keep this ball in hand. Even as this inside the 22, Gryphons get with support. Most of the forwards are in on this drive, though. And there the Gryphons have the ball. They're going to go wide. They've been stopped wide all day until now, and they still can't get it that way. It's a quick ball into the corner. We have a penalty advantage arm up by White as Gryphons are charging again. They're just outside the 5. Gaels are returning on strong defense. Trying to get a quick ball. It's at the back. Gryphons are doing that pick and drive right on the goal line. They're coming short side again. There's lots of yellow jerseys there. Gryphons are going to go hard again on that short side. That penalty advantage arm is still out for no rolling away. I saw the signal. Gryphons are going to try to make a charge out of it here in the backs. They try to keep that ball alive and retain possession, so there's no penalty call yet. And White now does. He's pulled another yellow card and sent a Gaels. I didn't see what number it left, and it's a quick tap and go again as Gryphons are charging hard to try to get to that goal line. It's a pick and drive, and the Gryphons are 2 ladies up. We got no time on the clock, and the Gryphons have put another 5 on the board. They'll make it 29-22 At best, it'll be 24 at this time. That still makes it a one-try match. Well, after the Gryphons lost the lead just before half, they've never been able to regain it. And the Gaels have never given them an opportunity to do that. The Gaels have had the foot on the gas ever since that lucky break when the Gryphons got a yellow card. Sorry, Gaels got the lucky break and the Gryphons got that yellow card. Capitalized on it, went ahead by 2 tries before half, and haven't looked back. Kinder Cosino with the conversion. It's good for 2 points as the final whistle has been blown. 29-24 is the final, with the Queen's Golden Gaels being crowned the champions of the OUA Women's Rugby of 2022. Guelph Gryphons weren't able to hold on to the title as these two teams seesaw back and forth throughout the league, throughout the years. What a brilliant game we've had here this evening, folks. Great entertainment here at Nixon Field at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. From all of us here at Queen's and OUA TV, Joseph, Cody, Alex, Kevin, myself, Chris Slack, we want to thank you for joining us. Enjoy your weekend and be safe. Enjoy homecoming.